Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a Thursday edition of The Mop. The Moose Opinion Project is live in southwest Wisconsin. So welcome. First off, to start this mentally tested episode, 9/11, 24 years ago, I was at KKIN Radio in Aiken, Minnesota. I was working there on air, and we got notified or saw the news then of what happened on 9/11. So for that whole day, I was in the studio playing the music I felt compelled, whether it was Lee Greenwood, whether it was gospel music with the Stallers, to whatever it may be, in remembrance of what happened, or to honor or to try to console as best we could what took place 24 years ago. To think I was, at that point, 37. Yeah, it's just hard to believe. Excuse me, I was 27 because Isaac was a year old when that took place. Nah, he wasn't yet. Not then. So 24 years ago, he was not even born yet. So, yeah. Brain's having a little tough this morning because I'm mentally tested. That's kind of where this is coming from. So, 24 years ago, and we saw one of the biggest catastrophes we had ever happen on U.S. soil, besides probably Pearl Harbor. But as far as mass destruction on U.S. soil, 9/11 was it. And I think sometimes we just go on in our lives and we forget about major events like that. And then to top today off of being the remembrance for 9/11, my condolences to the Charlie Kirk family. His kids, his wife, very, very sorry. My condolences to you. My thoughts and prayers to you. Political warfare has hit its all-time high, in my mind, as pointing out individual people. So my thoughts and everything else are all blending together right now, with 9/11 being today and then that happening yesterday. The one thing that we've all seen, so 9/11 to me was also somewhat political warfare due to the fact that it happened against us by a different country. However, it was not right versus left. That was just government versus government, or somewhat of a governing body against the United States, who is looked at as the premier powerhouse in all the nations. Sometimes I wonder how big a powerhouse we really are, due to the fact that now, with the death of Charlie Kirk and what happened there, and the things that have happened with both sides of the aisle, we've had Democratic lawmakers shot and killed. We've had, or husband of, but they were targeted. We have had numerous attempts on our current president. We have had now this one that was pretty blatant and wide open. I did not follow Charlie Kirk. I did not listen to Charlie Kirk. I don't agree with his stance, but that does not mean that he should have went out the way he did. Nobody deserves that. I don't care your stance if you agree or disagree with somebody. That is not the right ending to anybody. But yet it seems that everybody wants the political violence to stop. It has to stop. It has to stop. It has to stop. But yet, if you look at the post by a lot of people on the right, because they were very fond supporters of Charlie Kirk, which is their right to do, they are blaming the left for his death. They are blaming the left for being the big parts of that. And I think we really need to look that over. And if you want to continue to say that the left is flaming the fires and trying to make this all happen, I think the right needs to look at what they're doing on their side to not help with the situation. It is, to me, if you want to end political violence, you're not going to blame one side or the other. How about we look at mental health and look at mental fitness of those? You know, it's kind of like when all of a sudden we throw out that we're going to ban transgender people from owning a gun. That's the plan of some. That's the thought. That would be great for some, and there's a lot of cheers for it. I haven't figured out why that would help, unless you're trying to say that they're not right in the head, which then we go back to, you're not about the people. You're not about the human beings that are involved. There are plenty of, it's like then all of a sudden I saw a post right after the Charlie Kirk thing about the innocent lady that got killed on the subway train, whatever you want to call it, on the bus. They said, oh, what does the right think about it? I think it's freaking wrong, okay? The guy needs to go to prison. He needs to go to prison for life. He needs to probably be executed because it's pretty plain he took him. And if you want to go back to eye for an eye, whatever you want to talk about, he needs to go to prison for a long time. Like ever. And probably be executed would be my plan. Because she did not deserve that. She was an innocent lady on a bus. So be careful when you lump certain people. And I think that's part of the big problem right now is we are lumping. If something like Charlie Kirk yesterday, it's immediately because of the right or the left. It's immediately the left. Left faults, left fault, left fault. People on the left are saying, well, it's because the people on the right are. So we're already divided. And yet we're all talking about political warfare needing to end. It has to stop. It has to quit. But yet we're already started with warfare the same day that the accident happens. Then what really doesn't work is then we arrest two people for it, but then they're freed after they figure out they're not involved. And then the clip of the shooter on the roof comes, and you know, if you are a political activist and you are out throwing hats, doing all that, and you are a political activist, and when you're an activist, let's just say it, you're trying to divide the parties. You're trying to make yours stronger. You're trying to pull people away. Then you have a line of where you can Q&A, and then if you have disagreements with that, you go to the front of the line, and then whatever may be. And then when somebody mentions something, and it's what it was said, is to get murdered over different opinions is not right. Well, to have 3,000 people together and then put the people that have the different opinion on stage in front of spotlights is how it really looks. I mean, you might as well say it, that they might as well put them up high on a stage and say, here, we're going to shine the spotlight on you because you disagree with our stance. You are engaging in political warfare. You are engaging in political violence. And when you make your comments about the Gulf of, the Gulf of America, and you're starting to throw those things out, you know it's going to incite somebody from another side. Okay? So yes, Charlie Kirk did not deserve to die yesterday. Nobody does. Nobody deserves to die for having a difference of opinion. However, when you start to try to divide people and switch them to your side, and then you bring people forward and you single them out, you are engaging in activity that you're trying to prevent. You are engaging in bringing people with difference of opinions to the front and belittle them to make them different. So if you are waving the flag of we need to end the political violence, the political killings, we need to end the political extreme first. We need to end this political portion of, oh, it's the left's fault, they're flaming they're fueling the fire and they're doing all this, and that's why Charlie Kirk's dead. Charlie Kirk might be dead because of mental health problems in the United States that we are not addressing. We are not addressing major medical things because we are led in the medical department by somebody that has no medical experiences. RFK Jr. does not have a medical background or, in my mind, the mental health to make sure what goes on in the United States is correct or is right. You can have your opinion on vaccines, okay? I've had enough health issues. You can have your opinions on vaccines. I am going to take them. To make them not mandatory in a school, what are you going to do, or what will be your role? Let's say Florida, for example, now is going to back all those mandates off. What are you going to do if your kid comes home with measles, mumps, polio, whatever it may be? What are you going to do? Are you going to just say, yep, that's what I chose. That's the line I chose, and tell your kid, sorry, yeah, I don't agree with vaccines, so you didn't get vaccinated. And pretty soon we're going to see, like when the girl sued her parents for not giving her or asking her permission to be born in the United States. She didn't want to be born, so she sued her parents. We're going to see more of them where the parents are going to get sued because they didn't vaccinate their kids, and now their kids have debilitating diseases, whatever it may be. We are looking at a short run instead of the long haul. When are we going to start sitting down and actually talking and start understanding? After watching my mom pass away from Alzheimer's and then watching my brother-in-law die from cancer, and now watch the research dollars be cut for, let's just face it, the rich of rich, the 1%. So we give them tax cuts. So we're going to cut major funding for all the things that we are seeing that I'm guessing there are a lot of people in Washington that work for us that mentally should not be. If they were given cognitive testing and it was made public, I'm going to guess you'd be shocked at how many didn't do well. So, again, I want to reiterate this. Charlie Kirk, I did not follow. I do not listen to Charlie Kirk. But he had every right to his opinion, and he had every right to be the man he is. And he had no right to die the way he died. Nobody has a right to kill somebody because their opinion is different. Nobody. Don't care who you are. You can threaten to beat somebody's ass, whatever. You have no right to beat up somebody because of race, skin, color, whatever. You have no right to shoot someone because of their difference of opinion. Okay? Clear? Everybody understands where I am on that. But we also don't have the right to make rules to ban, if we're going to have, and Charlie Kirk did say, we may have a few deaths in order to have the Second Amendment. So people will die by gun in order to keep guns. He did say that. If you look it up, that's what he said. To me, that is the behavior that we are also experimenting with or seeing when we hear it is okay. Domestic abuse, whatever it may be. If you look at these statements, folks, they're there by the political parties of domestic abuse. It happens. It just does. Men beat women. There's no doubt about it. But we're not doing anything about it. And then everybody laughs about the gun control thing. I agree there has to be, there's not a way we're going to handle it all. Don't get me wrong. And they're not, people are coming for your deer rifles or anything else, okay? But large capacity magazines, take them out of the mix. You know what's going to happen? They just go up on the black market. People will get their hands on them. People get handguns every day that they shouldn't have. We see it all the time in the news. Drugs. Oh, God, all the drugs coming from Mexico. We need to shut this down. You're not going to shut it down. You can monitor it the best you can. But drugs have been a major implementation in small communities. Plain Wisconsin, when I was growing up, had drugs around it. Had people that were dealing in it, moving around it, all that. My brother was using it. My brother is no longer with us. Passed away at the age of 21. Not from drugs. From a tractor accident. You have to start being smart. You want to start curbing something. Let's curb all of the warrants and all of that, people, for bail jumping. Because bail isn't set high enough, nor do we have a place to put them all. Richland County Jail can't support the criminals that we have here because they're running out of room. Guaranteed. Why because we're letting people out on minuscule bonds, and then they bail jump, or bail, whatever you want to call it. Bonds, bail, But they're bail jumping because they don't have to worry about it, and they're not going to show up. So, my condolences to the Kirk family. I'm going to wrap this up. My condolences to the Kirk family. My condolences to everyone that has lost their lives due to political violence because of where they stand. But if we want to end this, quit posting online. Quit. What was eerie about yesterday is the videos of his neck exploding was live online, was online playing clips already that quick. Back when we were young, it would have taken until 6 o'clock news to report what happened yesterday. Instead, I don't remember what time it was, but I'll use this for an example. It happened at 11:06. The videos were online at 11:15. With any kind of scrutiny, any thought about the family, any thought about his wife having to see videos of that over and over. And no matter where you went, you saw the clips without, and everybody's like, oh, the family and we're not giving the family even time to get away from it all. Did anybody ever think that maybe her, as a wife, mother, or any of the family, got notified or got let known of what happened before it was online already? Maybe she was there. What if she's not? A lot of these political speakers go out and about without their family. And then, what about security-wise? I heard there was 4 or 5 maybe campus security people there for this political thing. And if you're in this time of world, if you are out there being brash and taking it above and beyond, you know security is going to be important. because of the mental health of a lot of people. So you need to take that in advance. There should have been a police force, maybe. I mean, there was a group of 3,000, I think they said, or something like that. And then you have a shooter on a rooftop that you obviously had to know. I don't know how we're not knowing this. Criminal justice mind kicked in last night, and I'm like, how did we arrest 2 people first, and then they're released, and then there's a shooter on a rooftop that they have video of taking, and yet nobody could find him? There had to be campus cameras everywhere, security cameras. We had to know roughly where he went. But by the time, I suppose, the shot was taken, he could have easily have gotten away before the actual response of law enforcement and everybody showed up, because everybody was running in different directions, which I get. I understand. So, my condolences to the Kirk family. But if we want to end political violence, enough blaming who's for fault in it. Let's look at the root problem. My guess is if somebody's going to kill somebody, and that's their goal, mentally, they're unfit. Does not matter right, left. So we need to look at that. And we need to look at our mental health. If you're able to walk up to people and tell them they're stupid ass or whatever because of what they believe in, and you're openly able to do that, you are not mentally stable either. I can disagree with you, and I can say, I don't understand where you're coming from, but let's talk about it. Instead, most people right now are like, screw you, you're stupid. You're a dumbass for believing what you are. And that doesn't work to discuss. And if you want to know how that doesn't work, if you're married watching this, go up to your spouse and say, hey, stupid ass, you're a dummy, and I really don't think you're smart. And see how that conversation goes. We need to talk, and we need to open communication far better. That's where I'm at this morning on the mop. I appreciate you tuning in. And, yeah, that's all I've got for you today. And I mentally, with a stroke and the mental stuff that I have going on in my brain, it's kind of draining to see where we are. And if you think about mental health, look up what it does when you have brain damage or anything else, how much energy it takes to actually get through the day. And they're like, well, Chris, just don't pay attention. That doesn't work. It does not happen where you can just say, screw it, whatever. And it really doesn't work for me because my son is in law enforcement. He faces issues every day. I think every time he pulls a car over, every time he goes to a house for domestic, every time he goes somewhere for a call, whether it's a bar, restaurant, whatever, of what could happen. Because I was a criminal justice major. I did a lot of ride-along hours. I did all of that as well, and I've been in a few of those situations. So that's where the brain kicks in, and that's where the brain gets tired. So, that's all I've got for you today. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning into the mop. And as always, take time to bless somebody today, because you don't know about tomorrow. I've got a bowl tonight, so I get to see a bunch of great guys tonight, and gals, and go from there. But have a great day. And again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will talk tomorrow morning about something that's on my mind.